Museums may need walls to display art, but art doesn't always need the walls of museums. There could be no better proof than the massive display of street art that took place in the summer of 2014 on the island of Djerba off the coast of Tunisia. More than 100 artists from 30 countries participated to create the world's largest street art project. CANAPE takes a tour of Djerbahood and chats with its founding father, Medhi Ben Cheikh.
Il y a eu une révolution ici il y a 3 ans. Ce que nous a apporté vraiment cette révolution, c'est la liberté d'entreprendre des projets de cette envergure et avec cette liberté. C'est ça les apports de la révolution. C'est exactement comme je sais pas, la presse, que ce soit écrite ou à la télé, où ils ont le droit de dire tout ce qu'ils veulent. C'est la vraie liberté d'expression. Donc il y a 4 ans, on n'aurait jamais pu monter un projet pareil. Je sais pas, on est en train de monter un vrai musée à ciel ouvert. C'est un musée, pourquoi? Parce qu'il y a une logique, il y a une scénographie, une vraie scénographie sur tout un quartier qui est énorme. C'est-à-dire les artistes n'interviennent pas n'importe où et tout va être éclairé, donc il y a un souci de lumière aussi. Il y a des parcours, il y a 5 pôles avec le marché, qui est un endroit où on s'exprime aussi, et un abattoir abandonné, plus le hors-piste. Donc c'est le musée idéal, pourquoi? Parce que ça respecte le street art aussi, ça reste dans la rue, ça reste gratuit. Donc ça répond aux normes muséales et en même temps aux normes du street. Donc en imaginant ce que pourrait être voilà, un musée du street art, je pense que c'est celui-ci. Ça veut dire quoi, ça réapproprier l'espace public? C'est une architecture, c'est jouer avec une architecture, c'est jouer avec l'histoire d'un lieu, c'est jouer avec la fonction d'un lieu, c'est ça. C'est faire de l'in situ.
Par exemple, là, on peut se déplacer là, mais là, il y a ce que...
L'histoire du lieu.
Ouais, c'est quoi l'histoire de
l'endroit?
Parce que cet endroit, il est hallucinant, là. Ça, c'est quoi? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça, en fait? C'est quoi cette...
C'est le palais Ben Cheikh, en fait, qu'on connaît les propriétaires de cet endroit, qui galèrent pour... ils avaient un petit projet de restauration où ils n'y arrivent pas. Donc voilà, l'animal, l'insecte qu'on peut trouver énormément à Djerba, c'est le scorpion, hein, il y a des scorpions partout ici. Donc fais gaffe à les savates, à des converses. Et donc voilà, c'est aussi une façon d'attirer les gens sur la question de la restauration du patrimoine tunisien. Le fait d'intervenir dans la rue, c'est un acte politique. C'est organiser quelque part, refaire, tisser une espèce de trame économique autour d'un village qui va s'autofinancer grâce à ça. C'est-à-dire que tu le donnes, les gamins, pendant leurs vacances, ils se transforment en guides parce qu'ils nous ont... C'est eux qui savent exactement où sont toutes les fraises, qui nous ont suivis pendant tout le long de l'aventure. Le commerçant, du coup, va se retrouver à vendre un peu plus tout ce qu'il a. Il y en a un qui va faire une buvette, l'autre va ouvrir son restaurant. Voilà, c'est en ça que c'est politique. C'est changer la société. Pas changer la société, mais donner l'occasion à un endroit de revivre, de revivre, il vivait très bien, mais de vivre et être autonome financièrement grâce à un projet culturel. Chercher un endroit authentique, une belle trame pour mes artistes, quoi, sur tout ça. Il faut que ça les fasse carburer. Des murs avec des voûtes et des coupoles, voilà, c'est pas ce qu'ils ont l'habitude d'avoir. Donc là, c'était l'occasion de s'essayer sur une nouvelle architecture, on va dire.
C'est particulier, là, Air Riyad. Mais disons que
c'est lourd de sens, on va dire ça. Oui, oui, il y a une communauté juive qui est là depuis 2000 ans, il y a la plus vieille synagogue au monde, donc il y a une communauté musulmane aussi, il y a des chrétiens, parce qu'il y a plein de coopérants qui habitent dedans. Donc voilà, les trois religions, ils vivent en paix depuis des siècles. Donc ouais, par rapport à notre actualité, en ce moment, c'est peut-être une petite leçon là. Déjà, rien que le fait d'intervenir là-bas est un acte politique en soi. Donc si tu en rajoutes, si tu joues sur le thème religieux ou politique, ça en fait trop, je pense. Il y avait une certaine difficulté à intervenir là-bas, mais tant mieux. Et en même temps, quand ça marche, c'est plus simple qu'ailleurs. On a réussi à faire un truc, c'est juste incroyable. Et en Tunisie, j'ai même pas pu le faire en France. On le fait, les artistes travaillent gratuitement, et on le donne à ce village, et au village de l'entretenir. Et après, ils le défendront. Ça, j'en suis persuadé, je le vois là. Déjà, il n'y a pas intérêt à ce qu'il y en ait un qui touche une fresque. Hein. Ils sont tous là, ils les défendent eux-mêmes, j'ai besoin de rien faire.
Mais c'est quoi ça?
Mona Lisa.
C'est Mona Lisa?
Je pense. C'est une femme gerbienne.
C'est une femme gerbienne?
Oui, je pense comme ça.
Au départ, ils ne savaient pas trop où j'allais en venir, et puis à partir du moment où ils ont commencé à voir qu'il y avait plein de gens qui s'intéressaient à ces fresques, là, ça a vite fait le tour. Là, ils ont vu où était leur intérêt aussi, et du coup, ils se sont mis à vraiment s'intéresser à ce qu'on faisait. C'est-à-dire qu'au départ, ils n'arrivaient pas à comprendre l'engouement qu'il y avait autour de ça. C'est de la pédagogie aussi, hein. Pour les gamins, même pour les personnes âgées là autour de la place. C'est une arme, la culture, c'est la meilleure arme qui soit.
Injustice has no frontiers, but neither does art. The Montreal-based initiative with a global reach, Imaging Apartheid, brings awareness and support to the Palestinian struggle for liberation through the production and dissemination of poster art. Journalist, community organizer, and musician Stefan Christoff talks to CANAPE about the group, its social concept of art, and its relevance to contemporary debates about Palestine.
In July 2005, you had the global call for a boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, BDS. So, for example, for a student union to call on the university administration to divest from companies that were involved in financial transactions or interactions or investments with companies that have links to the Israeli military machinery or the Israeli state. If you're an artist, you could express your solidarity by deciding to not participate in any sort of cultural work that had any links with Israeli state institutions. What BDS did is it gave like a very specific tool that I think empowered Palestine solidarity activists around the world, and it was a very important turning point, I think.
We wanted to launch this initiative, Imaging Apartheid, as a way to try to give some voice artistically on the streets to this BDS campaign, and as a way also to engage and to work with artists to collaborate on poster art, street art, that could communicate this growing movement. What we do is we put the posters up on streets, right? So why are we doing that? Well, there's the issue of trying to communicate with not a lot of resources. We also see it as sort of an intervention in a sense that we are not paying for ad space. What we're doing actually is breaking the law and putting posters up on the street. This was just from a few days ago. We put up a bunch of posters after the bombing started. This is at an event during Israeli Apartheid Week. This was at the rally on Wednesday. in Montreal and with the posters. When we look, for example, to our own history in Quebec, where we see movements for social and economic justice generations ago, often it's sort of communicated or given a certain iconography through poster art, through archive, through references to images, through symbols. So it's really through this narrative, through this framework of understanding the role of poster art in communicating the existence and the emergence of a movement.
Demonstrating is important because it can assert a certain urgency and a certain intensity about what's happening and perhaps force an end to the current military campaign. But what's more important is addressing the systemic issues, because it's the non-addressing of those questions, the refugee issue, the Israeli occupation, apartheid policies, that allows the infrastructure and the framework for this Israeli repression and military violence against the Palestinians to take place.
Jouvert is a contraction of the French words jour ouvert, which means opening of the day or daybreak. It's also the word that signifies the start of Carnival. It all comes from the Eastern Caribbean, but it resides today in Brooklyn as well, the site of one of the world's great street carnivals. More than 1 million people turn out for the festivities. How did Jouvert get to Brooklyn? And what does it offer to a city far removed from the warm breezes and blue waters of the Caribbean? CANAPE listens to what its organizers have to say.
It starts at 4-day morning, and that part of the morning is when the fall, what we know of as the cock, crows with the ancestors and the spirits of Jouvert and the characters of the morning comes together. It's a great honor to be part of the start of Carnival. Most people play Mass in the afternoon and they miss the morning. But the morning is as good as the afternoon and has a meaning just as the afternoon, but it starts with that. You be that creative person that morning. You know, you tear your shirt up, you put the mud on your skin, you put the oil on your face, but there's no limits where Jouvert is concerned.
You could be right there in the Jouvert and someone come and hug you around your waist, you know, and you're just having a good time, you know. Some people may not want it. If they don't want it, they just won't bother, you know. So it really is up to the individual how they feel comfortable within the Jouvert, you know, how they feel comfortable. I know I wouldn't want any mud and oil on me. But some people like oil and mud. They want to be part of the whole, you know, event.
Jouvert is like a total free-up. of freedom to it, just like how it was from slavery time. And it was freedom. An expression came into like, wow, I'm doing anything now, I'm free. Well, Juve gives you that opportunity to be free without slavery.
Once emancipation came in, which was in the late 1830s, the slaves now, or the black people, now realizing they have freedom, came out on the streets now to celebrate. And once the whites saw that, they retreated to have their celebration in their backyards. And then that's how the blacks took over being more dominant in the carnival. And that's the truth.
Turn into like a kind of festival of beautiful costuming, where each person will represent a character, and it became a celebration of like freedom, but with costuming as a party kind of thing. You become your own character, what type of costume you want to use, and most times the costumes are being made homemade by the person himself who's wearing it. Every morning, you become that producer and of that product. If you want to spray your hair, you're not asking somebody to spray hair. It's like I'm in the mirror with the spray. Or I want my pants to look a certain way, I can't ask somebody to come and do it for me. I would sit and just get it soiled up, because I'm playing that mask.
They added their creativity as years went by to the various masks, costume masks, etc. They would wear the white sailor outfit, but they would add their beads and everything, and they add a special hat or crown for the king of sailor. They had the king of sailor, you know, so they added their imagination. Like Mr. Wiley alluded to, he said, we stole, if you want to say that, we borrowed, we stole, but we added our imagination to it. It was always there, whatever was there, but we just improvised upon it. And that's basically what Carnival is, we improvised.
The person with a status does not play in a section with only people with a status. You would register with who you don't know who is in that registration list. And when you put the alcohol in your head and the little nice feeling comes in and you want your little enjoyment, that person that you do himself know, you would hug them up. Or they would hug you up. And you might be their partner for the whole morning. Right. But time to go home. You go your way and I go in my way, you know. But the celebration gives you the opportunity. And that's why I use the bank manager, because they're protocol people who plays mass and has to come right down to the common man to play mass with him also, because they're in the same project, or they belong to the same group. So you can't say because I'm a bank manager, I want to party in the front, and the person who's working at McDonald's is in the back. The person working at McDonald's is going to hug up that same person in the front. I don't care what your status is. Or because you're a bank manager, you ain't going to get mud. Or you ain't going to get oil. And now I want to put mud on you. Because you're the manager of Chase Manhattan Bank. Oh, she's playing in the band. Give me some mud. Bam! She can't say nothing because she's part of the thing. But you can't do that to her the next day. She's on a different wavelength of thinking. She comes back to that normal protocol person. But Juve morning, you better believe in it. You have to be part of it.
As time progressed and as more immigrants came to America, the culture picked up more and more. Although they had the carnival in Harlem at the time, you know, and then it moved to Brooklyn. That carnival, it included the steel bands, etc. And once the DJs came into play, now DJ music wasn't there until it came in. And once that happened, it drowned the sound of the steel bands. So you could hardly hear them on the street because once the DJ put on those, you know, it's like it drowned everything. So they slowly pulled out of the Labor Day Carnival on Eastern Parkway. So here it is now, we're seeing all this happening and saying, well, look, we can't enjoy a good steel band anymore, you know. Here comes Labor Day and they are not involved. And it was thought that, you know what, they have the carnival, which is one segment of the carnival that they come out in Eastern Parkway. Let's start with a Juve. The Juve is what signifies the whole onset of the celebration.
I'm the son of a very popular guy, my dad, Edgar Wiley, who was known in the Carnival circle as the original Batman, who playing the bad character for over 70 years of his life. And since my dad's passing, I have decided to pick the legacy up and let's take it to the next level and make sure that it's being carried on.
The Juve is so significant that we need, Mr. Wiley's role is what we're hoping he will become more involved in bringing more of the traditional characters to the event, you know, because a few of the groups, they are more tending to look a little more fancy, but Juve is a carefree thing. It establishes history, it speaks on the economical, social conditions and situations of life at the time. So basically, that is what we want to maintain because Juve is about that, you know.
For more than 30 years, photojournalist Jean-Pierre Lafont captured the tumult of the 1960s and onward. Lafont was driven by an insatiable curiosity about American society from top to bottom. A new book collects these memorable images.